So all you guys are here to see me? Goodness. Oh, whatever I did, I got to do more of it. Um, Before we start, though, I'm telling everybody we got a lot of people here for a lot of different things. So we're probably going to change the time limits for speakers so that we can get everybody here before midnight. All right. So, Madam Clerk, oh, can everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. But if he doesn't,
My
I'm going to
detail.
cover it. Okay. Now, Madam City Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor Quorum is present for the City Council, Successor Agency, Housing Authority, and Joint Powers Authority.
Okay, so due to the number of attendees, which we love to see, we're going to cut first general comment about anything on the agenda except for the public hearings to 2 minutes. So is there anyone that wants to speak to the City Council, Successor Agency, Housing Authority, Joint Powers Authority on any item on the agenda other than the public hearings may do so at this time for 2 minutes? Hearing no general public comment, we'll go to item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Receive and file. Now, Madam City Clerk, what's the next scheduled item?
Yes, Mayor, the next scheduled matter is a public hearing to consider General Plan Amendment Number 2022-001 to amend the land use element map of the Inglewood General Plan from industrial to commercial residential.
Has the notice of hearing been given in the time, form, and manners required by law, and do you have the affidavit on file?
Yes, Mayor, notices have been given and an affidavit is on file.
Have any communications been received on this matter?
Yes, Mayor, communications have been received and passed out to everyone on the dais.
Is there a staff report?
Mr. Mayor, there is. The Community Development Director is Mr. Bernard McCrumbie.
Welcome, Bernard.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the council. As mentioned, the applicant has requested a general plan amendment to change the existing industrial land use designation to commercial residential to facilitate the development of a hotel mixed-use project, mixed-use hotel development. Under state law, every city is required to maintain a land use map. This map may be amended by the city council in the interest of the public, in the best interest of the public. As requested, the GPA meets the public interest standard by the following. One is allowing the creation or facilitating the opportunity to develop 11 for-sale condo units, which will create a pathway to home ownership for local renters and help the city meet its RENA obligation as required by the state of California's Department of Housing and Community Development. This will also introduce a contemporary land use of an extended stay hotel that is consistent with the current land use designation of C2A. This general plan amendment will provide the city the opportunity to bring consistency between our existing zoning and our land use designation. Currently, as mentioned, our existing land use designation is industrial, and I'll get to a slide that shows that shortly. The proximity of this proposed project to the sports and entertainment district will benefit residents and visitors alike by providing retail, entertainment, and activities in a walkable mixed-use structure. And lastly, the opportunity to develop a hotel will expand local employment opportunities and generate TOT or transit-oriented taxes that will support the city's general fund operations. So as mentioned before, the existing general plan designation is industrial, which is highlighted by all of the gray. Now, I want everyone to understand that the city is currently in a process of updating its comprehensive land use general plan, which is going to align with what the proposed general plan designation is. And so as we move through the process of the general plan update, the area you see in gray will ultimately be the same color as what's being proposed today. So as we move forward with this general plan amendment, what will it allow the applicant to do? Well, the applicant is proposing a hotel with 11, as I mentioned, with 11 for-sale units, along with a pretty substantial amount of commercial use at the bottom floor. The applicant will be required, if this general plan amendment is approved today, to then file for a planned assembly development, which essentially is a special use permit. They would need to go before the Planning Commission. Sandwiched in between the planned assembly development is their site plan review application. And of course, then they would need to subdivide the property via tract map and a parcel map to consolidate all the applicable parcels. The request is also asking the council to affirm a mitigated negative declaration that was reviewed by a third party, peer reviewed by a third party consultant agency, and confirmed that with mitigation, appropriate mitigation as proposed, that the project would not have an impact, a substantial impact on the community. And then lastly, as I mentioned before, we're looking to continue to bring consistency between our general plan and our existing zoning, which we're in the process of doing comprehensively, but this will help us to facilitate that. As mentioned, one letter in support was received at the time that this presentation was prepared. Um, and that concludes staff's presentation. Be happy to answer any questions you may have. In the interest of time, just wanted to be short and sweet.
Thank you very much for that. Now, we're at the public comment portion. Because there's a lot of interest in this, we're going to maintain the 3 minutes. And so that doesn't mean you have to use it, but you have 3 minutes. So anyone that has any comment on this item may do so at this time. Go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Veto Basuto. I'm with the Anchor Church. Our ministry is happy to support projects like this one with clear community benefits for the people in our congregation who work and live in Inglewood and surrounding communities. We ask today that you vote yes and support as well to give those in need of a second chance an opportunity to improve their lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Good afternoon. My name is Corey Crocker M. I am a member of Carpenters Local 323. I've been a carpenter for the last 29 years. This development is a great development. We hope that you approve this general plan amendment so this development can happen. We have a lot of members and apprentices that live in the local area, and this project will benefit those apprentices tremendously. It'll allow folks to start a career, finish a career, and just all in all, make a pathway to the middle class and improve the lives of local Inglewood residents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members. My name's Salvador George. I'm one of the representatives with the Carpenters Union, representing 93,000 members in the 12 western states. This project is being built by a responsible developer who understands the success that starts with accountability. That means hiring a reputable general contractor, ensuring subcontractors are properly licensed and compliant, making sure the workers are paid on time, the correct wage rates, and with benefits. This chain of responsibility is critical. When every level plays by the rules, projects run smoothly and communities benefit. What happens without responsibility? When irresponsible contractors are allowed in cities often see wage theft and misclassification, workers left unpaid or underpaid, lawsuits, liens, and project delays. Taxpayers ultimately absorbing the cost. Responsible contractors like the one we have here today prevents those outcomes from ever happening. This project represents more than just a development. It represents opportunity for local residents to work close to home, families to earn stable incomes, workers to receive health care and retirement benefits. When people who live in Inglewood get the chance to work in Inglewood, those wages circulate locally. That strengthens neighborhoods, supports small businesses, and builds long-term economic stability. At the end of the day, responsible development means everyone wins. Workers are treated fairly, projects are delivered on time, the city avoids unnecessary risk, and the community grows stronger. I urge the council to support this project and continue prioritizing responsible contractors and responsible development. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Jesus Camargo. I'm with the Western States Carpenters. I support this bill. Good evening, Mayor, Councilman. My name is Jesus Camargo. I'm here to support this hotel project and the importance of the responsible construction. The responsible developer hires and responsible general contractors, who then hires responsible subcontractors. The chain of responsibility ensures everyone plays by the rules. Responsible contractors prioritize job site safety, proper training, and compliance with labor laws, so workers go home safely every day. They also provide pension contribution, allowing the people who build this project to one day retire with dignity. and that's a big thing. We all want to retire with good money, you know? We don't want to retire with nothing. This project can be built safely, responsible, and in a way that benefits the workers and the community. Having trained workers right here on this job site, it's gonna get guys that built it right, and that's the big ticket for us, you know? When you get trained workers over there, you won't have no problems with the community, with the traffic and all that, and that's a big push for us, you know? So I support this. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Afternoon, everyone. My name is Richard Chow, and I'm with Smart Local 105. We support this project, and we ask for your support by voting yes. We believe in projects like this one. We commend this developer for committing to pay union-level wages so that the workers and community are supported. Housing has become so expensive and inaccessible, but thanks to this developer, local tradespeople will be able to afford better living conditions and a chance of working in the Inglewood community. We support this project and all that it will do for the community. Please support this project with your vote by voting yes. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. My name is Roger Corona. I'm a Carpenter member. I'm here to speak about the importance of this project. First of all, I want to thank you, council people, for allowing us to speak on this matter. I'm in support of this project, but I'm here to briefly talk about the importance of the union healthcare that these projects like this will provide. Also, we're responsible contractors involved. Many of the times we think about job wages and how fast we can get the project built, but we don't talk about the healthcare that comes along with those great benefits that these union wages and union labor provides. Tell you a small story about what happened to me 2 years ago and my wife. Like a normal morning, on Monday morning, I was getting dressed to go to work, and my wife was talking to me on the way out, and she started complaining about some upper chest pain and back pain. And you see, being a carpenter or a construction worker, we don't complain too much about anything. We're not the kind of people that go to the doctor or anything. So when she started talking about that, we started thinking, okay, well, it's just pain. But knowing my wife since high school, we've been together since high school, home of the Colts of Carson, I knew it was something that not something to skip over. She was making some comments about it, so I said, hey, you know what? Let me skip work, stick it to the doctor. Well, when we were at the doctor, we discovered that she was having a major heart attack. If it weren't for us that had that health care, I don't know if I would be standing here today still as a union member. They put 2 stem cells. They saved her life. If it weren't for that health care, I don't know. So now we're still dealing with 1 clogged artery, going to constant doctor visits every month, dealing with medication and hoping that it'll cure it, the 3rd one. So I'm here to point out sometimes that we talk about, hey, getting this project built and how we're going to save money and stuff like that. We need to focus on the importance of the other stuff, the healthcare, that carpenters and union members working on these projects have a healthcare that we don't become a burden to the society, to our healthcare, our cities, with emergency rooms already overcrowded and healthcare being out the window. We need to think about that. So I urge you to also think about those moments that we just wake up on a Monday morning and are getting dressed and you hear something. I ask you to please support this project. We have a responsible contractor on board, and let's get it built the right way the first time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other speakers?
Are there anyone downstairs?
No, there's nobody downstairs. Okay.
There's one more, Mayor.
Uno más? Oh,
I
okay.
think the whole line is to speak.
Okay. Go right ahead.
Okay, sorry, thank you. Good afternoon, my name is Andrea Romero, and I'm a proud member of Unite Here Local 11. I urge you to require a real transportation demand management plan for 4200's Century Project. The project is quite significant. It is a 13-story building with 11 condos, 118 service apartments, and 175 hotel rooms, as well as a broadcast studio, rooftop pool, health club, food hall, and bar/cafe. Yet the transportation mitigations suggested are very modest. including a 75-cent per day transit subsidy to 30% of employees, which would not even cover the cost of a single ride on a Metro bus. Please do more to mitigate these impacts by including deed-restricted affordable housing, achieving LED platinum standards, and including a mandatory commuter reduction program that could include meaningfully subsidized transit passes for hotel workers, a shuttle service for hotel patrons to visit nearby destinations, and more. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other speakers out in the hallway that are waiting to speak? So hold on one second, ma'am. Okay, so here's what we got to do. We have fire regulations, you guys. So if you've had the opportunity to speak, could we have 5 people agree to go outside because we can't overfill the room? Is there anybody that's spoken that's?
Mr. Mayor, I'm more than happy to exit after doing comments.
Okay. Okay, so how many more people in the room want to speak on this item? Raise your hand, please. Okay, so you guys are the volunteers. Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Hola, muy buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Graciela Gómez. Y en medio de una crisis de vivienda, la ciudad de Inglewood no debería estar considerando la aprobación de una enmienda al plan general y un cambio al código para permitir la construcción del proyecto en el 4200 Century Boulevard. Sin ninguna unidad de vivienda de costo accesible, creo que la inclusión de unidades de vivienda de costo accesible proporcionaría un beneficio comunitario significativo y ayudaría a mitigar algunos de los impactos ambientales de este proyecto. Por favor, no aprueben el proyecto tal como está. Tengan responsabilidad y denle la importancia que se merece el proyecto. Gracias.
Gracias, señora.
Mayor, would you like me to translate the comment?
Go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Graciela, and I live here in Inglewood. I am also a member of Unite Here Local 11. Amid a housing crisis, the city of Inglewood should not be considering approval of a general plan amendment and a change to the zoning code to allow the construction of the project at 4200 Century Boulevard with 0 affordable housing units. I believe the inclusion of affordable housing would provide a significant community benefit and serve to mitigate some of the environmental impacts of this project. Please do not approve the project as is. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker. Gracias, señora.
Greetings, Honorable Mayor, council members. My name is Jordan Sisson. I'm a land use CEQA attorney here speaking on behalf of Local 11. You heard them earlier asking you to deny the project approvals. We raised several concerns last year in December, and unfortunately the response to comments that we received recently does not address those issues. Here you're leaving off feasible mitigation measures. These were also outlined in our comments submitted earlier today, as well as expert GHG comments also included therein. In my limited time, I just want to highlight a couple of those issues. First, the MND claims that these are 118 service apartments. That is not a term in your code. These are hotel rooms. That could be a potential project description issue. Second, your construction emissions modeling is outdated. That has not been updated. Furthermore, in terms of your land use consistency, this project is 13 stories, 150 feet. This is in no way consistent with the adjacent properties, largely 1 to 2 stories, and limited under the code to 7 stories. That is not addressed. Nor is it explained how the airport land use plan consistency is going to be made here. In terms of solar panels, the MND does not discuss whether or not 100% of the energy needs can be accommodated. They're actually very non-committal. Case law is very clear that considering whether or not renewable energy can be incorporated is a relevant topic. Furthermore, when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions, we gave ample opportunity to consider robust and conservative thresholds. The response to comments simply says the city doesn't have to. Unfortunately, it doesn't explain with substantial evidence why that threshold is proper. That is also demonstrated by our expert comment letters, not only critical of the threshold, but also the qualitative and quantitative analysis provided therein. Furthermore, the VMT study provides minimal traffic demand management strategies, as you heard, minimal subsidy. And with the release of the staff report, it was announced or disclosed for the first time that there are single-family homes and multi-family units that will be replaced. That's nowhere discussed in the MND. That's significant new information. There's been no analysis whether or not the replacement housing program that's in the housing element is going to be complied with. This is all reasons why an MND is not appropriate here. And in my concluding comments, this is not an EIR. This is an MND subject to a low fair argument standard. Here, there is substantial evidence that there will be a reasonable impact. There are feasible mitigation measures that we urge you to consider through a proper CEQA review. I thank you for your time, Mayor and council members.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Jose Delgado. I'm a proud member of Unite Here Local 11, and I live in District 1. Inglewood currently needs more affordable housing, so working people are not pushed out of the city that we helped build. Development should serve our community. I am disappointed that during the housing crisis, the city of Inglewood is considering major zoning changes to allow developer to build 13-story project at 4200 Century Boulevard with serviced apartments, condos, and a hotel, but no affordable housing and inadequate environmental protections. I urge you to require this project to fully address its impacts by including affordable housing, meaning LEED Platinum standards, and implementing a strong commuter reduction program, such as subsidized transit passes for workers and shuttle service for hotel guests. Please do not approve this project as is. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And please, I appreciate it as we speak, if we could exit in the hallway so that we can bring other people in. Go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Manny Cabrera. I am with Unite Here Local 11, representing over 32,000 hotel and stadium workers. I do not believe this project adequately evaluated its greenhouse gas impact. The project would generate 4.8 metric tons of carbon dioxide per person per year, which exceeds the South Coast Air Quality Management District threshold for 3.0 metric tons. This project needs stronger mitigation measures, including affordable housing, LEED Platinum standards, and mandatory commuter reduction programs with subsidized transit passes for workers and shuttle services for hotel guests. An environment impact report should be prepared with an updated greenhouse gas analysis and enforceable mitigation measures to reduce emissions as much as possible before the project is approved. The EIR should also demonstrate a commitment to the implementation of these measures. Please do not approve this project as is. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jose Rodillo. I am a proud member of La UNA, Labor International Union of North America. And on behalf of my hardworking men and women out there, we fully support this project moving forward. This project will create so many jobs for our members and residents who live here in the city. Projects like these will pay fair wages with great benefits. But also, it will give second chances, and it will help break the cycle of recidivism. 23 years ago, a project similar to this one gave me that second chance, and now it made a tremendous change in my life. La UNA has an apprenticeship program that enables us to obtain the skills needed to succeed in today's economy and society. Projects like these give hope, and that's what we need here in the city. Jobs, good careers, a retirement plan. Projects like these, it's a positive. for the city, for working men. Our apprenticeship program certifies us to build with the higher standards, so you could assure that this project will be built safely, on time, and to the higher standards. Please approve this project. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Todd Nelson. I'm here on behalf of the applicant team. In consideration of the number of speakers that you still have, I want to keep these remarks brief. I wanted to quickly respond to some of the environmental review comments that were made by some prior speakers. As Mr. McCrumbie noted in his staff report, the California Environmental Quality Act document that was prepared for the general plan amendment that was in front of you was prepared by an expert consultant and reviewed by a third-party consultant retained by the city to verify its conclusions. Some of the concerns that have been raised today included comments saying that additional mitigation should have been imposed, but the MND mitigated negative declaration document demonstrates that with the identified mitigation, no environmental impacts will occur. There was a comment regarding the height exceedance and FAA concerns. The FAA has reviewed the proposed project height and granted its approval. The project will also be going before the Airport Land Use Commission when the actual project plans move forward. So that will all be subject to a reconfirmation of that approval. There were some comments about energy use, greenhouse gas emissions. Again, these comments were made previously by some of these same commenters. Detailed responses were provided and are part of the staff report that's before you today. There is substantial evidence in the record supporting the environmental document's conclusions. And finally, I believe that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
And sir, you're an attorney?
Yes, I am.
So we're 1-1 on attorneys. 1, 4, 1. Okay, got it.
Try to keep it. We don't want to.
Okay. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Gus Torres, and I'm here on behalf of UA Local 250 pipe fitters, welders, and apprentices, representing 6,700 members, and we're in full support of this project. And we ask you to also support it by voting yes today. The developer has worked hard from the beginning to make sure that they're committed to hire local skilled workforce, and by doing so, giving back to the local economy, therefore securing not only the city's present, but also its future. Thank you for your time, and God bless.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Hello, Mayor and City Council. I noticed that a lot of people that are speaking are not from the community. I am for the project, but it seems like it needs some more information, especially regarding traffic. We've been under 10 years of constant construction here in Inglewood, and the traffic is terrible, and it seems like a project this large will cause more traffic issues, and I don't hear enough about the traffic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Honorable Mayor, council members, and staff. My name is Larry Bustos, and I am a 20-year member of Labor's International Union of North America. In Southern California alone, we have over 30,000 members, many of which whom live right here in this area. This project we are in full support of because it'll bring local economy and local jobs to our union members. Good, responsible developers like this believe in strong wages and good benefits to support working families like ours. These tough economic times, along with high gas prices and inflation, is exactly why we need this project right here. Many of our members travel many hours. To get 8 hours a day, most of our members have to work anywhere from 14 to 16 hours because of travel time, which takes away from their families and the local community. To summarize, this project not only makes sense, but it'll help our local economy at this critical time. For those reasons, I am asking you that you approve this project, not only for our members, but for our community as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Samuel Nieto, and I came here today because I wanted to see yes votes on this project. The city of Inglewood deserves positive new development projects that will bring new vibrancy to the area. With this project's location being so close to the new Intuit Dome, I think this will be a huge economic boost overall. From the hotel aspects that will allow visitors to come and visit for both short-term and long-term stays, to the restaurant and event space. This is a great fit in every aspect, plus all the jobs that will be created from the construction all the way through the operations of the building. Thank you very much, and please vote yes.
Welcome.
Oh, hello. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Juan, and I'm here today to ask for your vote, your yes vote, and support this project. Development in this Inglewood community signals to me that the economy is recovering from the pandemic, as well as creating new options for upcoming Olympics. This this project is located just right to be in accommodations for the Olympic visitors. Plus, hotel and restaurant will bring money back into the area that will lead to more growth and jobs. This is a great opportunity for the city of Inglewood and a positive step in the right direction. Vote yes, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Sorry. Good afternoon. My name is Godfrey Washira, and I'm with CRIDLA, Coalition for Responsible Equitable Development. And we are here in support of the project, and I'll keep it simple. New Edition is coming to town next month. Boys to Men are coming, and so is Tony Braxton, and I can't wait for that event. I can't wait for the concert. I already have my tickets. But by we can keep the dollars, the tourist dollars, local by providing opportunities by, let me put it this way. Let's keep all these dollars local, all the monies from such events and money from the venues. And a project like this does provide that opportunity to keep the tourist money within. And so we ask that you support the project. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor, Council. My name is Ernesto Pantoja, here on behalf of Sergio Rascon, Business Manager, Laborers Local 300, and a resident of Inglewood. I live on 5th Street and 76th Street. What can I say? We're here because obviously this project is going to create a lot of jobs for our members. But what a lot of people don't realize, it's also going to create new opportunities for people within this community. Right now we have over almost 300 members that live in Inglewood alone, just in Inglewood. The project, we had the SoFi Stadium into a dome, brought a lot of people into a lot of the different trades. Why? Because we give opportunities to service veterans returning whose skill sets don't translate into civilian life, females, we're trying to grow the females in the trades, and most importantly, formerly incarcerated. The trades are an opportunity for formerly incarcerated individuals to be able to find a career path and a way into building a home, right? Being able to get married, being able to afford a place to live. They got benefits for themselves and for their family members. For us, it's important. And like I said, I've heard residents here complain of the traffic. I understand that. My wife and I have to figure out what times on Sundays we leave and come back because of the games. But what I will tell you, I also understand that we need this type of development. We need our people in this community getting the wages that our members get. These are not cheap jobs. These are career jobs. People can live on, can get to a retirement, but we need this investment. I'm willing to deal with it because I understand what the end game is. This isn't my first time living in a community that's under development, understanding that it's going to help us build a better future in this city. And for my son, who's growing up participating in sports in the community, I will tell you, Inglewood does a fantastic job of taking care of the kids in this community and providing different programs for us. I've lived in very many different communities from the San Fernando Valley to West LA, and nobody has ever provided the type of benefits that the city of Inglewood has, which is kind of ironic for me because I lived in West LA. So for me, this is game-changing for this city and for the residents, as well as for those who need that second chance. We ask you to please support this project. Thank you.
Sir, did you say you lived at 76th and 5th? So you live around the corner from me, so you know we only take Van Ness and Florence during games, right? All right, I just want to make sure of that. You didn't mention that, okay. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Brenda Campos, and I'm here today to support this project and ask to you say yes today. Why am I here? Because I really love this city and I like everything that we have to. This project seems like a big positive development for the Inglewood community, and I think it's really important to develop hotel spaces in the area to bring the tourism and as well as the restaurants and event space that we add to the neighborhood dining options and social scene. They are all the reasons that I should ask you to vote yes in this project. I have enough time. Puedo hablar en español también. Vengo a pedirles su voto en sí para este proyecto. Pienso que la ciudad de Inglewood se merece tener todo este tipo de proyectos, ya que tenemos lugares muy bonitos. Tenemos también muchas personas que se gradúan de la high school, como en mi caso mis sobrinos e hijos, y tienen a poder tener una oportunidad mejor si tenemos estos proyectos en la ciudad. Es algo que realmente nos merecemos y si realmente adoptamos estos proyectos que son muy buenos para nosotros, pienso que la ciudad va a tener más turismo, vamos a tener más lugares para escoger para ir a comer o donde poder pasar también tiempo en familia. Así que les pido cordialmente, por favor, que voten sí en este proyecto y que tengan buen día. Gracias.
Gracias, señora. Any other speakers?
Couple more right there.
Okay.
My time restart. Hello, council members, city members. Oh, I have to speak within that
There you
time.
just into the microphone.
Okay, can you hear me?
You hear you fine.
Okay. Hi. First of all, I want to say thank you for hosting this. I know it's been a little bit problematic for stakeholders of Inglewood to get information. So thank you for hosting. A lot of people in our community have gotten this. I'm part of the CRDC coalition in Inglewood. We are not in favor of this. Moving forward, as the gentleman stated before me, there are infrastructure problems in regards to a lot of the traffic. Some of the things that the stakeholders and residents of Inglewood have received in regards to the map, they're seeing that they feel like they're being pushed out in a sense and that they won't have an opportunity to regain what they've already gotten. Residents who have been here for 20 years, residents who have been here for 15 years and longer. So I'm asking that I understand progress does need to be made. There's been a lot of progress that has been made in Inglewood, and you guys really do a great job of when people come here. You guys do make a difference because you did it for our neighborhood and our coalition, and we appreciate that. I'm just asking that a little bit more thought be put into just pushing something. A lot of construction workers are here supporting this, but we all know being an independent contractor, even if you're in a union, there are jobs all over. And I'm not sure how many of the people who came and spoke are actually stakeholders. We live literally right behind the stadium, and the infrastructure is chaotic. And the hotel that is on the corner, there was some things that were sent out, and our houses are gone. So we're just a little bit, we would just like a little bit more communication in the sense of being a part of the vote before you guys make that decision. Thank you.
Okay, quick question. Did you say our houses are gone?
Well, in the community, they're in the area. So we got two.
I really want to understand this now.
Yes. So there were two flyers that were sent out. There was the yellow flyer in regards to today's town hall meeting,
Mhm.
and then we received something else with a what is it, like a 3D development portion of a structure that is going to be on Century, and I can't remember the side street, but it's right next to the stadium. And within
Century
that,
and Freeman?
say it again.
Century and Freeman, what were we talking about?
Right next to the stadium, she's saying that's probably
Oh.
the
Yeah.
alley.
Okay, the
So-
Cali Hotel on SoFi
Yeah.
property?
Yeah,
Okay.
so some of the community members that came and showed them, I have a couple, and they had came and spoke with us, and they were like, hey, our house isn't here. What's going on? And then they received this, and they were like, what is going on? I was like, there's transparency with the city
Okay,
members.
so that's why I wanted to make this clear. There are no houses by the Cali Hotel, and this project is going to replace what was the Tradewinds Hotel at Century and Freeman.
Okay.
I just want to make that clear. There's no residential housing or apartments that are being sacrificed for this project. Just want to make that clear.
No, I appreciate
Okay.
that. So you're saying they don't need to be alarmed for that, they're not intermingled is what you're saying.
Exactly.
That's what the confusion was coming from.
Okay, great. And I want you to take that back to the neighborhood.
No, that's perfect. I
All right.
appreciate it.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Diane Sombrano, and yes, I am back and I'm not choked, haven't choked myself, and don't plan to be choked. So here's the deal. We have horrendous traffic already. And while those of you who work in the construction trades, I understand you want jobs. Yes, very good friends with Sergio Ramos, Local 300. The thing is, we have to consider the residents of this community. And we already know that infrastructure has not been well thought of. That's why we're having so many problems that we do have. As you yourself said, you can only use certain streets on certain days. That's horrific. And yet the residents are stuck with that reality. Sadly, we are paying the price for developers to become wealthy and for a few people to have temporary jobs to make some tourists happy. And I wish that you would consider the residents of this community, because we have in fact lost a lot of services behind a lot of these projects. Someone mentioned the thing about our students. I encourage everyone to go out and US News and World Reports and see how well our students, just because we have stadium and a dome and entertainment, our students are not doing well. Is that city council's problem? No, but let's not confuse those. Our students don't do well because billionaires add money to their coffers. Please don't confuse those. We need to take care of the people who have actually invested their lives here for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and in many cases, 80 years. They should not be disregarded for someone who's coming in with a truckload of money. Thank you. Going to respond? I'll wait.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Boy, I have missed the old days, but go ahead. With that, we'll close.
Is there one more? One more, go for it.
Go ahead, sir.
Mayor, City Council, my name is Cesar Lamas. I am a proud member of the Laborers International Union in North America. We come in full support for this project in regards to the amendment of the land usage, right? I could go into a full technical spill about defending the developer in this aspect, about how the EIR is prepared, you know. I could go into the full union spill, but in reality, I gotta put food on the table, so I'm here to make sure I push this project so I could get to work. I think the biggest part of it is, you know, we have everything kind of coming up. It's gonna be kind of clustered in these upcoming years. So building projects like this definitely is not only in regards to beautification, but it also helps the aspect of people, you know, coming into these communities like Inglewood, buying properties, using them for Airbnbs. Next thing you know, it becomes too into that aspect. Building projects like this prevents stuff from like that happening. It definitely pushes the initiative on having more people coming for tourists so that they could bring their dollars here, where their dollars are used in reality for Inglewood, for the residents. Fixing it, you know, building it. Like I was telling everybody else, Rome wasn't built in a day. So this is definitely a big part to it, you know. I don't really have anything else to say besides that.
I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people who say it doesn't matter if your members get temporary jobs? What would you say to that?
Work harder.
All right.
Work harder.
All right.
Definitely a big aspect when it comes to being a union member. When it comes to the working class, if you work and you definitely dedicate it, our pension plan is in regards to a 25-year and done plan. It's a very big portion to it. Definitely helps us out for the long run. I'm 28. I already have 7 years with the union. By the time I'm 40-something, I'm gonna be retired. I was able to buy my mom a house last year.
So these jobs matter.
They matter. It's
Right.
not just about the younger generation. It's about the older generation that's about to retire. In order for them to keep prospering, workers like me have to continue to work. We have to continue pushing the initiative. And it's jobs like these that kind of really help us push that initiative.
All right, thank you very much.
Of course.
Okay, with that, we'll close the public hearing, the comments, and
Mayor, I'll move items 2 and 3.
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Fogg,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Madam Clerk, what's the next scheduled matter?
Yes, Mayor, the next scheduled matter is a public hearing to consider approval of the draft fiscal year 2024 through 2025 Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report.
Has the notice of the hearing been given in the time, form, and manners required by law? And do you have the affidavit on file?
Notice has been given and an affidavit is on file.
Have any communications been received on the matter?
No communications have been received, Mayor.
Welcome, Roberto. Is there a staff report on the matter?
Yes, there is, Mr. Mayor. HUD Program Manager Roberto Chavez will be giving it.
Mr. Chavez, you saw Mr. McCrumbie. You saw how he was. There you go. All right. So let's go.
You didn't even use words. You were like, yeah.
Good afternoon. Okay. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Thank you for your time and attention. Members of the public, thank you. Yes, today we're here for the fiscal year 24-25 Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, also referred to as the CAPER. Next slide. We'll be going through the background, some types of funding, and the programs that are offered through this report. Little background. In accordance with Title 24 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Part 91, jurisdictions receiving funds from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, also referred to as HUD, must complete the CAPER within 90 days of the close of the jurisdiction's fiscal year, which ended on September 30th of 2025. The 2024 CAPER represents the third year of the city's 5-year 2022 through 2026 consolidated plan, which describes the city's accomplishments in attaining the goals and objectives identified in the city's fiscal year 24 to 25 annual action plan, covering the period, as earlier mentioned, October 1st, 2024 through September 30th of 2025. Types of funding, I'll highlight the totals and I'll continue on through the screen. So for CDBG, the total funding available was just over 2.3 million. For CDBG CV carryover, CV stands for coronavirus, just over 1.1 million. And now on to the home program. The total resources available were just over 4.6, bringing the total of the CDBG and home program total just over 8.1 million available. Types of programs or activities. Public improvement services, park facilities improvements, restroom rehab, minor home rehabilitation program. Under public services, we have senior nutrition program, fair housing counseling program. Also, CDBG administration is paid through this. CDBG CV program. Funds will be used for the Inglewood Main Library HVAC program, which is the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Moving right along. Funding amounts broken out, and just as a description of what the percentages of what the funds can be used for. So 15% can be used for public services, administration 20%, and non-public services, we have 65%. Moving right along, for the CV program, administration can be used 20%. For non-public services, we have 80%. Moving right along. Home Investment Partnership Act. This is another large program for the cities called the Home Program. The purpose of the program is to expand the supply of decent, safe, sanitary, and affordable housing with primary attention to rental housing for very low and low-income families. We heard a lot of talk earlier about providing affordable housing. Starting in the calendar year 2026, the city will leverage its available home funds and surplus carryover funds to new affordable housing developments. The first being a 60-unit, 100% affordable housing new development tentatively scheduled to break ground in early spring of 2026. We've been working on this for about 2 years, but we're scheduling a groundbreaking here shortly. Funding amounts for the home program. These are the percentages that can be allocated: 10% to administration, 15% for the CHOTO, which is the Community Housing Development Organization, and for eligible activities, you have about 75%. I won't go through every line item here, but these are just some of the amounts that were budgeted, and I'd be happy to share this presentation with anyone, but it shows the budgeted amount and the expended amount for the 24-25 year, and I will just make that available to anyone that wants to have a copy of that. With that, that concludes my report. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take those.
Okay, are any members of the public who would like to give public comment? Go right ahead.
Hello, Mayor Butts. My name is Josie Scott. I am a homeowner from Los Angeles, Inglewood, California, to be exact. But I wanted to come in today and I wanted to talk about some things as far as the water. So,
Hold on 1 second. See, this is a public hearing about the CAPER, so.
for the home program.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I still have to talk about the home program too, but I'll just come back.
Well, no,
I'd
you
like to
can
about
talk,
the
if you want to talk about the home program, you can right now.
No, I'll just wait for the water. 'cause
Okay,
water
there we
is more
go.
important to me.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem.
So we're a few years out of COVID and we still have $1.1 million left over, sir? And are we going to be using those funds for people who are still having issues with housing?
Hold on 1
affordability?
sec, ma'am. Right now, this is your time to make your comment. It's not an open
Well, he
question.
said if you had a question, so that's my question.
I think he said he would give you the presentation, but this is not question and answer right now.
Okay, well, the community needs to know why the $1.1 million wasn't spent on people who needed rental assistance.
Okay, thank you. Okay, with that, ma'am, did you have a comment, ma'am?
No, go for it.
Okay, then we're going to close public comment. Is there a motion from the
Motion to
council?
move.
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Padilla,
Aye.
Falk. Aye. Mayor Butts.
Aye. And now, Madam Clerk, what's the next scheduled matter?
Yes, Mayor, the next scheduled matter is a public hearing to consider adoption of a resolution approving proposed increases to the city's water, sewer, and recycled water rates in accordance with the requirements of Proposition 218.
Has the notices hearing been given in the time, form, and matters required by law, and do you have the affidavit on file?
Notice has been given and an affidavit is on file, Mayor.
Have any communications been received on the matter?
Yes, Mayor, communications have been received and turned into all of our mayor, council members, and everyone on the dais.
All right, is there a staff report on the matter?
There is, Mr. Mayor. The Public Works Director, Tony Olmos, will be giving it.
Welcome, Mr. Olmos. Could you give us this long-awaited report?
Thank you, City Manager. Good afternoon, Mayor and Mayor City Council. Tony Olmos, your Director of Public Works. The item before you, as mentioned, is a public hearing to consider the adoption of water, sewer, and recycle water rate adjustments. I'll provide a brief overview and background for the item, then I'll turn it over to our subject matter expert who will walk you through the rest of the presentation. So why are we bringing this item to you now? In the big picture, the current revenues are not sufficient to cover the full cost of the operating and maintaining the city's water and sewer system as it is. We have been relying on the fund reserves to cover the operating costs, and those reserves are being depleted and will run out next year. More specifically, for water and recycled water, there are three primary factors that affect the budget. It's inflation, the rising cost of water, and aging infrastructure. On the inflation side, post-COVID, inflation has been the highest since 1981, increasing the cost of material, labor, equipment, and services. For cost of water, in Inglewood, we purchase about 75% of our water from Metropolitan Water District. Roughly half of our operating costs is the cost of imported water. Since our last water rate adjustment in 2023, MWD has increased its rates by about 25%. These increases are usually passed through to our customers, but our current rates do not account for them as we speak. On aging infrastructure, much of our water system is 60, 70 years old, the water mains in the street, and are in need of replacement. So the proposed rates will allow the city to increase the amount of water main replacements we do each year and will allow us to make improvements to our treatment plant to improve system reliability and being able to respond to emergencies. Investments are also needed to rehabilitate our groundwater wells, allowing us to pump more lower-cost local groundwater, which will help reduce future rate increases. Even after accounting for the proposed projects, the city's total water infrastructure needs still exceeds 25 million, so this rate increase only addresses the most critical needs. On the sewer side, briefly, we have similar pressures that are affecting the budget, inflation as well, insufficient revenue and aging infrastructure. Inflation is the same as water, and the sewer rates have not been adjusted since 2012 and have not kept up with rising operational and capital costs. On the infrastructure side, there's a need to invest into repairing our deficient lines and establishing a sewer relining program to minimize leaks and extend service life. So with all this, and to help us to formally analyze our budget and our needs, we hired a renowned expert in the field, Reftelis, to help us prepare a water, sewer, and recycled water rate study. And here to walk you through a summary of the study and recommendations, Mr. Steve Gagnon, he's Vice President of Reftelis. Mr. Gagnon's been doing this work for 17 years and has prepared and presented hundreds of studies for local agencies and utility districts. So at this time, Mayor and Council, if you want the presentation, I'll be happy to call Mr. Gagnon up to the...
Please call him.
Yes.
Thank you, Tony. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council members. Again, my name is Steve Gagnon with a firm called Reftelis, and here is a summary of your water and sewer rate study. So first, why would the city do a utility rate study? In summary, it's because the rates that you charge your customers must keep up with the city's cost to serve water and collect sewage. It's important to know that the water and sewer utilities are enterprise funds, which means they stand on their own 2 feet and they cover their costs by the revenue from your customers. That's to mean that it's not like other city services such as police and fire and libraries, which is funded by general fund. The sewer and water utilities stand on their own 2 feet from customer revenue. As part of the water rate study, we did what's known as a financial plan. A financial plan is nothing more where we project the future revenue and expenses of the water utility and the sewer utility. Your expenses include operations, O&M costs, capital, and reserve funding, which you'll see in a second. If there's not enough revenue, we suggest revenue increases so that you can cover your costs. As part of the financial plan, we plan for reserves. Any good utility, all utilities have reserves, and this is what we're targeting for your reserves for the city. You should have an operating reserve, this is by your policy, an operating reserve of 20% of O&M and a capital reserve equal to 1 year of your average capital expenses. So you can see the targeted reserve at the bottom of the table. It's about $12 million you would hold in reserve. Part of the financial plan, we include your capital projects. This is a list of the capital projects that the city would like to do. You can see it's around $8 million shown at the bottom of the table. So the city would like to invest around $8 million a year in its water system to repair pipes. The graph on the left shows what we project would happen to your reserve balances if there were no rate increases and you spent your full water budget and you spent the capital projects that you would want to do. You can see your reserve balances go negative. Therefore, we're proposing revenue increases so that your reserves are shown on the right-hand graph. Though that red bar is your reserve target. So by the end of the study, which is 2030, you could see you would be near your reserve target, which is the red line, with these revenue increases. Just a reminder that your water rate structure has a fixed charge, which is charged regardless of how much water you use, and then there's a volumetric charge, which is based on the volume of water that you use. So for example, currently, the fixed charge is $18 and change. If a customer uses 900 cubic feet of water, and 100 cubic feet of water is 748 gallons, the volumetric charge would be $41 and change, so the total water bill would be currently around $60. I just wanted to point out that there's a fixed charge and a volumetric charge in the prior slide. So this table shows the fixed charge, the proposed fixed charges as part of the study. And by the way, around 70% of the meters in the city are the 3/4 inch at the top of this table. That charge is currently $18.38. It would actually go down a few pennies to $18.35, and then the table shows the charges for the remaining 4 years of the study. The bottom table shows private fire charges. This is mostly paid for by commercial businesses. A typical single-family home would not pay this charge. Then this table shows the volumetric rates by tier. There's a current column, and then it shows the volumetric rate that you pay per 100 cubic feet of water for the next 5 years. This is probably the most important slide. It shows what the typical bill impact will be for a typical single-family home. That's shown on the chart on the left. And in the red box, for your average single-family home, the expected increase is $18.25 monthly. That's for the average customer. If you use a little less, for instance, if you use 5 HCF, which is common for someone who's living alone or a household that just doesn't use a lot of water, the bill impact would be $10. And then if you use much more than that, on the right, you see there's 15, the bill impact would be $32. So your bill impact depends on how much water you use. And then on the right, these are for non-residential customers. You have typical commercial, industrial, and municipal customers which use a lot more water, so their bill impacts are higher. This chart shows where you currently fall compared to a lot of your neighboring cities. You're in the yellow. You are currently in the yellow on the left side. If you were to accept this proposal, you would move to the center yellow bar, if you will. So you would be about in the middle compared to your neighboring agencies. I just want to point out, you see the arrow on the right there? Some of the city of Inglewood is served by Golden State Water. So if you are served by Golden State Water, that's what you're paying underneath the arrow there. It's $99. So if you're served by the city, you would pay $78. So now I'm just going to go through the same thing except for the sewer utility. This is the reserve targets for the sewer utility, about let's call it $2.5 million a year. These are the capital projects the sewer utility would like to do, around, let's call it $1.5 million a year in sewer projects. This shows on the left what would happen to your reserves if you did nothing, and on the right it shows what would happen to your reserves with the revenue increases. And this chart shows in the red box the bill increase for your typical single-family home. As you can see, it's only 20 cents. The reason why it's only 20 cents is because based on data from the city, by annualizing winter water use, we've calculated that the contribution of sewage to the sewer system from single-family homes is actually lower than previously thought. So therefore, their share of the sewer system is lower than previously thought. That's why for your typical single-family home, it's only going up 20 cents. On the right there, you have some other, commercial customers. They're going up a little bit more because they contribute more to the sewer system. And this comes from your data. This simply shows the wastewater rates and charges. So a single-family home currently pays $7.50 a month for the sewer system. It would go up, as you can see, 20 cents there next year. This shows where you fall with your neighboring agencies. You're currently on the left. You would move to the middle left. We also did a study for your recycled water rates. This table shows the recycled charges. Again, this is mostly for city accounts and commercial accounts. Most single-family homes do not get recycled water. And your typical recycled water bill customer would go up just shy of $900, but this is for a lot of water use. This is 600 cubic feet of water use, so this is a big water user. So just to summarize everything, rate increases are needed to keep up with the rising cost to serve water. I don't think Tony mentioned it, but your sewer system hasn't had a rate increase since 2012. And we all know your costs have gone up since 2012. The proposed rate increases would fund the needed capital reinvestment that was shown in the tables. And that concludes the presentation, and we'll be here for questions.
Okay, Mr. Gagnon or Tony, neither of you were here in 2012, but Councilman Morales and I were on the council when we raised the rates. I want to ask you, what happens when you don't spend money on capital improvements for your water and sewer system? What happens to the pipes?
Yeah, so with deferred maintenance, and actually we're experiencing some of that now, where you have a lot of water main breaks. When your system is not as reliable as it should be, the pipes are old and they start breaking. So for the water system, it can be water main breaks, it can lead to sinkholes, and then it can lead to lack of reliability, like what happened with the fires over in LA and in Pasadena. Some of the water system was deficient, so they weren't able to have a reliable water system in some areas. So for us, it's trying to improve the reliability. And on the sewer side, if you have any kind of breaks in the sewer system, what happens then is you can have a lot of these spillages that would then go into a storm drain system that's actually illegal.
Okay, and last question. Some people seem to believe that the residents will be required to subsidize the commercial stadium and arena costs for water, but that's not true, is it?
No, all the venues, all the customers in the city pay for their water, just like we just shared.
All right. Is there a differential in the rate increase for stadiums versus homes, or do they just pay more money because they use more water?
They pay more water based on their meter size, so the fixed cost will be higher because of their bigger meter. And then obviously with the volumetric costs for using that much more water, they pay more.
So there's no subsidy for the arenas of the stadium?
No.
By residential customers?
That's correct.
Okay, with that, we're going to open public comment.
I don't see my clock, so I'll wait.
That's okay. We'll let you go until the clock starts to
Oh,
go.
I appreciate that, Mayor.
Go right ahead.
I appreciate your generosity. Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor, Council, esteemed guests. My name is Maya Walker. I'm a resident and a homeowner here in the great city of Inglewood. Thank you to the gentleman before who gave us a very nice presentation. It helps me to understand, helps us to understand that water problems in our city is nothing new. It's an infrastructure issue, and I don't think any of us are here against infrastructure. I think what the problem is that we don't get enough notice, and we don't believe that there's enough planning. We are not guests here. We are residents. We live here. So the idea that somehow this study is just coming about because you didn't know that we've had an infrastructure issue with water is just not the case. We have known that. So in this tough economy, especially for our seniors and those who rely on a fixed income, 20 cents, 50 cents is more cents than we have. So we need to make sure that when we're considering these kinds of increases that we think about our residents first. We're always talking about, at least these residents are talking about making us the priority. And what seems to be the priority in this city is not us. So with that, I'm asking on behalf of a number of my neighbors that in this tough economy that you would not increase our rates for water and that you would go back to the drawing board and determine another route as we deal with these increasing costs in our city. I thank you for your time and thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Josephine Scott, and I only have so much time, so I'm just gonna go quickly. Good evening, Mayor Butts and council members. I am a property owner, and my grandparents were a part of the Great Migration that came to Inglewood fleeing Jim Crow, looking for opportunity, looking for a place where they could own something peacefully for generations to come, and they found it here. I was raised in the same home I own. Do you care about history at all? 2 generations later, you're systematically pricing us out so corporate hedge funds can buy up our homes collectively. I'm here to tell you that I'm really done being exploited nickel and dime to death while SoFi Stadium prints money in my backyard. I can hear the noise from every concert, and I'm in District 2. Let's talk about what's already been taken. Edison raised my electricity 7.2% in March 2024, then 13% in October 2 months ago, and now you want to raise my water bill 12% today and another 10% next year. At what point do you think people like me just break because that's what you're doing systematically, breaking us while SoFi Stadium makes millions? Let's talk about what I've gotten in return being a good neighbor for your ill-intended epicenter entertainment district. Consider this collectively. Years of construction noise that shook my house, laid waste to our roofs, filled our lungs with debris. Traffic so bad I can't get home on game days. What used to be 5 minutes distance is now 45 minutes. More diversified crime that didn't exist before, car break-ins, property theft, more petty theft. And you charge me to park on my own street so stadium goers can profit off of my neighborhood. Mayor Butts, I remember in 2021 when you passed that Airbnb ordinance that was facilitating a manner of tricking participants into submitting their Airbnb income so you could retroactively tax it. You know what you told us after you collected that information? You suggested those of us who wanted to fully benefit should create a group, meaning an entity, and profit that way. So let me get this straight. First, you trick us into revealing our income, then you tax us retroactively. And you didn't advise us on how to do it. You didn't allocate resources to help us create this collective ownership. You just suggested it and then kept right on creating policies that favor corporate entities over individual homeowners. Where's the equity study, Mayor Butts? Show me the data on commercial versus residential water usage. Show me that SoFi Stadium and the Clipper Stadium, Hollywood Park Casino, all new upcoming hotels are paying their proportionate share because from my position,
Okay,
this looks like the
we're-
same playbook,
we're-
trick
we're- we're
residents,
at
extract
time.
wealth, call it progress.
Ma'am,
That's
we're-
all I have to say.
Ma'am, we're at time. Okay, so really quick, we just showed you all of those things about the proportionality and how it was paid. Next speaker.
Elijah Woodson, a protocol has already been established. I got a letter today talking about 30%, so $18.30. Is that I'm not a math teacher, I'm retired anyway. It just sounded less than 30%. Was that just a camouflage to get you guys to buy into it? Another thing you're talking about, all these stadiums, and I live 891311, 3 houses from 90th. I can't think of the new name they call it, but it's impacted us severely. I think you guys should let them pick up the tab. They flushing more toilets. Their sewer is impacting our water going in and out. So I'm a man of few words, so I think we should let them pick up let them absorb the inequities and things that we are experiencing because of all this entertainment and sports stuff that you. And when they get here, they get the hell out of here. They not spending no money, and I can, because I'm there. I see it all the time. That's all I got. And thank you for this forum. Elijah Woodson, 891311.
Thank you,
I'm a
Mr. Woodson.
resident.
And they're paying for every toilet they flush.
We need the 7 o'clock meetings again, so the other. people
Ma'am,
are
we don't
already
do that, sir. Go ahead.
Hello, Mayor and City Council. My name is Yolanda Davidson. I'm a lifelong resident of Inglewood, California. I oppose this rate increase. I think it is unfair that renters here were not able to oppose this increase. They pay water bills here. They're not being represented here. I don't think that is fair to the renters in the city. This is a predominantly renter city. We have seniors that rent. We have single mothers. We have people on fixed incomes. We have already had our trash go up, Edison bill, now the water. And yes, we can say that the stadiums pay their fair share. I'm sure they do. They're billionaires. They have enough money to pay everybody in Los Angeles County's water bill. However, we have 100,000 residents here in Inglewood, and now we have 100,000 people visiting us every weekend. So you can't say that the chart would not have been different if we didn't have these extra people using water. So to say that they're paying their fair share, that's fair that they are paying it, but they're putting the onus on us as usual. You tell us that our city is making all this money, but you're always digging money out of our person pockets, and we don't have it. We cannot pay an extra 30%, not 20 cents, not 30 cents, no more cent. Inglewood residents have paid enough. Pollution, noise, traffic, What more do you want from the residents of Inglewood? You are supposed to support us. You are not supporting us. You are supporting our billionaires, and it's not fair. You think about the residents, think about the people who were not able to come here today and oppose this, people who never saw that little piece of paper that you just might have not seen, that just by chance I opened and saw what it said. It was 2 pieces of paper. This is something that's gonna go on for years and years and years, and you need to think about the residents of this community and stop thinking about the billionaires. Let them pay extra. We don't have it.
Okay, we can't do that. It's not a rally. Hey, so real quick, you guys, real quick before the next speaker speaks, renters do get to vote as long as they pay their water, if they pay a water bill, that they do get to vote. And then secondly, no resident pays one dime for the water bill of SoFi, Intuit, YouTube Theater, the Forum, Yola, nothing. No resident pays any part of their water bill. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Honorable
Okay.
Mayor, council members. My name is Brent Stolling. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Inglewood Park Cemetery, joined here today by my colleagues Monica Braccio, Kazi Burns, and Kevin Brown. We've been part of the Inglewood community since 1905. So we like to joke that we were part of Inglewood before Inglewood was incorporated, and as a cemetery, we will be here long after SoFi has collapsed and the forum is no more.
We can't hear you, sir. Can you speak closer to the mic?
Is that better?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was reminded heading to the Chargers-Eagles game and seeing the blimp, also that not only are we about the most permanent part of Inglewood, but our cemetery also in our 291 acres of green space, we are part of how the world sees Inglewood. Every blimp photo you see, our green space right here in the heart of the city is part of how the world sees the city of Inglewood. So to do that, water is our lifeblood at the cemetery. It is next to what we pay our 300 employees. Water is our largest expense. We are probably your largest customer for reclaimed water. And when I look at what these increases will do to our expense budget, is a multiple of the numbers that you cite in your letter, that the incremental charges that you get from West Basin Water District will cost the city. And I'm already running out of time. So impact on us. We are a public benefit corporation. So this doesn't come out of any profits to shareholders. For us, it comes out of what we can spend to maintain our green space, and it comes out of what we can pay our employees at our cemetery. Is one of the largest employers in this city. I would also point out reclaimed water. In 1995, we switched to reclaimed water. It's the right thing for the environment, and also on the promise that it would save us money. In the time since then, our reclaimed water rates have increased at twice the rate of utility inflation, over 6% a year since then. So the promise that we received in 95 has not come true. Now with these increases, you want to charge. We will see another increase of 63% between now and 2029. Again, with significant impact to our budget as a public benefit corporation. And if it's impacting us this much,
We're going to have to wrap it up. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate your patience with my comments going over.
Hey, real quick, let you go over. Most of our parents are there at Inglewood Park Cemetery, so we're very respectful. But I would ask you this, to your knowledge, does any resident pay any of the water bill for Inglewood Park Cemetery? Thank you very much, sir. And I asked that to make a point. The point is residents don't pay for large water users. Next speaker. You guys, if you're going to talk, we have to go out in the hallway. Go ahead.
Good evening, Councilman and Mayor. Okay, thank you.
I'm one of the renters that happened to move 5 years ago into an investment apartment building that you guys allowed to come in here. There were 10 of them with global integrity. And now they've changed their names because Better Business Bureau got on them. But to make the service, all of the people that live in there, most of the people that live in my apartment building are seniors. They are 90, they are 80, and all of them, and we're having to pay for our water separate from our rent. Our rent is due to the rent control, so they knew they couldn't put the water and utilities into our rent. So now they have our rent, our utilities, our sewage, and our trash all together, and we have to pay that along with our rent. And it gets, you know, when you're on a fixed income, this is terrible. So I'm here with the homeowners about a rental, having with these investment companies buying property here and making us pay water. I've never paid water. I've been in Inglewood 40 years and I've never had to pay water. It was included in my rent. I mean, the landlord took care of it. But when you have investment people, you have management companies, and they do what the heck they want to do. And I just feel like this is wrong because we have seniors that can't afford it. And they're steady making us pay that, and they keep going up every month. 1 minute is $35, the next month is 40 some dollars, the next month, the water alone, not the sewage and the trash. Then it's 50. I'm at 50 now. So $100 is really what I pay along with my rent. People that have more than one person in that apartment, they pay $200 and $300 extra for their water and sewage and what have you. And I'm sure you guys aren't aware of it. That's the reason I'm here to tell you about
Okay,
it.
okay, ma'am. There's something I'd like you to do.
Yes, sir.
I would like you to call the housing department about this issue that you speak of about them raising your water bill every year. I mean, if there's anything,
HUD
ma'am,
housing.
ma'am,
Okay.
your time's up. Let me just gonna tell you
Okay,
this.
go ahead.
And
Go ahead.
so it doesn't sound right, and so we will look into that. Secondly,
Mhm.
we have an annual application for senior and handicapped citizens for water and refuse rates discounts. The City of Inglewood requires that in order to be eligible for this discount, you must be a resident of the city, 62 years of age or older, or have a handicap with a household income not to exceed $34,840. And all information that's provided herein is subject to verification by a tax return or other appropriate documents. So we do care about seniors. In fact, this application, I'm going to have somebody give it to you right now.
Okay.
So, Mr. Cortez, could you come and take this and give this to her
We
right now?
we have extras, Mayor.
We have extras, okay.
Placed outside, Tony?
Okay.
Yes, right there.
So as you go outside on the little table, there's this application.
Or is the
Take,
gentleman
There's
holding it?
Thomas Lee right there.
okay, and take some for your neighbors as well.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mayor, I wanted to thank Ms. Thompson because she told me that I came down to the office and she told me that I didn't know I could get the water bill to
Okay.
see how much is 50 units.
Absolutely, you
And
can.
she said that it's public knowledge.
So
I
so
didn't
so
know that.
we will look into that.
Okay,
Thank you very much, ma'am. And take a couple for your neighbors too.
Good evening, Mayor, council people. My name is Boyd Rogers, and I oppose this increase because they allow so much water per unit in units. And you can't tell the tenant how many showers to take, how many times to flush the toilet, and I'm paying right at $100 to $125 each billing cycle per unit. The cost of building materials and everything has went up, insurance, and they make it hard for, excuse me, a small landlord. It's almost getting to the point you better off leave your place empty and pay for what you use yourself and not take care of the tenants. I, just like them, I have a family to feed too. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we need everybody to speak directly into the mic. We have some people online that are reporting trouble hearing you. All right?
Good evening.
Lift it up a little bit because it's pointed down. There you go. Well, I guess that's it.
Good evening. My name is Jose Cornejo.
Speak a little closer to the mic.
Good evening. My name is Jose Cornejo. As the legal owner of the resident of 615 East 67th Street, Inglewood, California, I hereby submit my written protest to the proposed utility increase. This proposed increase justified and will be financially harmful to homeowners like myself who are already having navigating inflation, rising housing costs, years-long constructions, and permitting roadblocks, all while working at a near minimum wage job. I simply cannot afford the increase. I work two jobs to barely afford my cost of living. I've been an Inglewood resident for decades. Now I am addressed by the city affordability. I am a low-income earner, yet still not able to be eligible for any low-income benefits, but living check to check because of the rising inflation rate of the world around. Please, I ask you to reconsider this proposed increase. Thank you. My name is Jose Correa.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. My name is Aldine Sly, and I've been a resident of this community for 64 years and more. Anyway, I hope that every resident in Inglewood votes against this increase. Please. I kind of think, and Mayor, you said I would be wrong to think this, but I believe we're subsidizing many of the new entertainment centers, and we're not really aware of it. It's going into different entities, but we are subsidizing. I really believe that. Electricity, water, gas, you name it. And so I pray that every resident in Inglewood, please vote against this increase. Even though they say that it's not going to affect us, it's going to affect us somewhere down the line. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. I hope everyone in the waiting room downstairs can hear. I'm a representative of District 4, and I oppose the increase in any of the infrastructure, the water, the sewage. I just received a notice yesterday from the trash company. They're going up again, and we don't get better service. I don't understand. But, you know, I would hope this meeting is at 2 o'clock, and most of the people who have purchased new homes or, you know, condos, et cetera, in Inglewood are probably at work right now and cannot attend the meeting at 2. So maybe in the future, if you could consider holding a meeting like this, maybe a supplemental meeting in the evening or on the weekend, so that other people who are also concerned about the infrastructure can voice their opinion. There are many people downstairs who are here today not realizing that that they should have submitted a letter, et cetera. You know, if you could just give a little more attention to the Inglewood residents. And when you send notices out like this, if you could also include an infographic. Most people may not know how much one HCF is. If that's 700 gallons of water, no one pictures what that's like. Looking at a business chart, that's one thing, but make things relatable to the people. And that's all I have to say. I just hope you will reconsider the proposed rates. If somehow you could delay it and get more participation from our community members, I think that would be ideal. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Council members, my name is Diane Sombrano. One of the most important things I think you should take care of and fix, to staff over here, this microphone is not working well. Many of the videos that are on your channel cannot be heard. It's a falsehood to suggest there's transparency when no one can hear anything that's going on. Having said that, I'm going to move on to this water issue because you have confused some people by saying that we get to vote on it. We don't get to vote on it. We get to write the checks to pay for it. The only people voting on it are you four, because Gloria, our District 1 representative, already voted at the West Basin, where she also is a voting member. So don't pretend that we don't know that you are the ones voting as opposed to us. And for the renters, please understand that if you had not been paying your water, we, the owners, would not know until our property taxes arrive. And all that back thing would be on the property tax bill. And guess who had to do with that? Oh yes, our city council. So there's a lot of issues that have been created to make sure that the small property owners who do not have the same funding as the large property owners cannot absorb those frozen rents. We cannot continue to be having a city council raise rates because, in case you hadn't noticed, you're not just paying those increases, you're paying the tax on top of those increases. Look at your bill the next time. It's not just $6 more in a base in a little while, it's $6 plus the 10%. Pay attention, people, to every jot and tittle and every single line. If you look at the thing out there, it talks about the red and the blue lines. It's all black and white.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon. I'm Leonard Redway, a resident of District 1. I had actually planned to come here today to say that you weren't in compliance with Proposition 218. However, we did get the cost of service study that we just saw here today, which, thank you, I appreciate that. And I think that if more people saw it, they would actually understand what's going on. So it's about transparency here. Proposition 218 requires that it be made public. And as of last night, when I last checked, the public was not able to see that. So if the public was able to see, they would see why the rates have to go up, why the city has not. Maybe they don't know why the city hasn't raised the rates along with Metropolitan, who raises it every January 1st. But I think the people need to know so that they can, like everything else.
Mr. Redway, because we've used the reserves to cover it, that's why.
That's fine. I just say everyone needs to know. I'm just out here, researching, called the Public Works Office and found out that the study had been done, but the study has still not been made public as required by Proposition 218. And then lastly, you've said several times here tonight, asking different people, or this afternoon, that the stadium, no one pays for the stadium's water. It's actually incorrect because the infrastructure that they are on, the water main that provides them water, they use that more than anyone else. And then the sewer main that comes from that building, they use more than anywhere else. So sort of, they may not pay for the actual usage, but they do pay for the infrastructure.
Well, that's a stretch, but go ahead.
Not a stretch at all.
Thank
I've
you,
spent
sir.
the last 30 years doing this. It's not a stretch.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a stretch.
Good afternoon. My name is Alina Cindy Jardina, previous member of this board. And it's an amazing thing to live in Inglewood, to see Inglewood grow, watch what's going on. But somehow the people that come in here that have the money, that speaks volumes over the people that live here. Because what we see now is that planes come in anytime they want. They just cut across anytime they want. They're throwing jet fuel anytime they want. So when you start talking about the problems we have in Inglewood, water is vital to us for life. So water is life. If we don't have water, we're not going to live. So if we start talking about all of the things that we're doing, we're not trying to protect us. These planes are landing every 2 minutes. They're throwing jet fuel right on the top of our house. Now, people might say, well, Jardina, you're outside washing your house down. Well, yeah, I don't really want to inhale that jet fuel that's landing on my roof. So we have issues here that we really should talk about because it's inherent to our health. But we're not talking about that. We get distracted with this foolishness about some water or some this or some that. But the truth of the matter is we have to have water to exist. And this board's been here long enough. You people understand this game. It's insulting to us as adults, intellects, people here that have college degrees, and you talk to us like we're like dumb dogs or mutts. So it's really something, if we really wanted to have some realistic dialogue and you were serious about doing what you're supposed to do, we could really come here and transact some business. So it's insulting. I used to sit up there, and it's insulting to think that you talk to us as though we're morons. When I'd say every time you make 1 point at me, there's 3 more back at you. So I see like, that might really be the number of what's happening up there. Just think about this, because in reality, this is really serious stuff you're talking about. This is jet fuel. These planes are landing every 2 minutes.
Ms.
Their wheels are
Giardina,
down.
Ms.
Excuse me,
Giardina,
just give me-
you're at time.
I understand.
You're-
The other people got 30 seconds, so I'm just going
No,
to try and
you're
do
at
this.
time. You're at
Okay.
time. You're talking about planes. This is a water hearing.
We are, and
Okay,
that's why the
okay.
only thing we have
Ms.
is our water to
Giardina,
clean our houses.
Ms. Giardina, thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. Kevin Brown from Inglewood Park Cemetery. Good afternoon, City Council. I was here in 1995. I installed the system at Inglewood Park Cemetery. And like Brent told you, we were spending $350 an acre foot. Now we're up to $2,600 an acre foot. Big expense for the cemetery. Not only that, you know, the cemetery is a green space. We have 2,800 trees in the cemetery. We are a Class 1 arboretum, one of 1,700 in the world. Let that sink in. When this park starts going brown and the state comes to find me because I'm the cemetery manager, because the park is brown, they will come out and they'll cite us. I got cited once by the state because a valve broke and the grass was brown. And they sent me hey, we didn't find you this time, but we're gonna give you a warning, okay? But when we can't afford to pay the bill, it's just gonna get passed on to the residents. You know, we talk about, hey, the SoFi doesn't pay their people don't pay or whatever, but it's going to reflect in pricing some way or another, unfortunately.
Okay,
And
sir, let me make this
in
clear, and
addition-
I'll give you your time. You're not suggesting that if you don't pay your bill, it's going to be passed on to the water bill of the residents. You're not suggesting that, are you?
people who pay for the property that we sell.
So for people that pay for the product that you sell?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, but
That makes sense, right?
okay, that's what I want to make clear. It's not going to go to their water bill, but
All
go
right.
ahead.
With that, you know, I was here with West Basin. I was on several board meetings with West Basin when we were installing the pipe. West Basin actually owns the pipe that brings the water to here. I don't know who maintains it and who pays for the maintenance of that pipe, but I think, your consultant is a little misguided. That's all I can say.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Leroy Fisher, First District, here to say, to begin with, if you would have put this measure out to vote for the residents, they certainly would have voted no. So that's the first thing you should have did. You should have had it out there, and it would have told you them that if you're going to be charging us all this money, then we're going to get rid of you, because too many of you have been here for too long anyway. You know,
Okay,
sit there-
We can't interrupt Mr. Fisher, so please
No,
stop
sir,
the
you can't.
crosstalk. Go ahead.
Too many of you have sat there and sucked money away from us, which you continue to do. And we should have votes that, you know, you shouldn't be able to sit there and be there forever. And so people ought to vote you off. But, you know, the whole thing of this is that these rates are being increased and, you know, people don't have the water, the monies to pay, you know, all you salaries and all this extra money that we have to pay. And it's you know, we got the stadiums and we got you to pay, and it's just a shame that you them sit there and suck up this city the way you do, and for all the reasons that you should not even be here, for the way you supposedly treat residents of this city, but you're not doing anything right, but sitting there sucking up tax dollars from we, the residents of this city. So you all need to go home and find something else to do, because you sure ain't doing nothing for us.
Okay, the next speaker. Mr. Fisher, you're gonna, Mr. Fisher. Mr. Fisher, you're going to be removed if you keep this up, and I mean that. All right, go ahead, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Jessica Leslie here again. So initially, I did have a type statement like a lot of representatives here. However, I can see the contempt and anger in a lot of the residents and stakeholders of the community. Just sitting down, I saw several people state their remarks and walk out. I'm not sure if they did that because they feel that the council has already made up their mind, or if they did that just out of frustration and respect to the council because they know that they will be talking and not be fully present. With that, Prop 218 says that there should be a vote. It is for local governance and price adjustments. I work in several sectors, but most importantly, when we're talking about graphs and we're talking about fiscal responsibility, let's be honest, Duranda, I believe, just stated, a lot of people don't understand this language. And then another gentleman said, well, when did you send it out? It's not made public. So my concern here is that a decision has already been made, and I'm not in on the joke because a lot of residents are leaving. And I really would hope that the senior that left, and she was almost in tears because she can't afford her water bill, and my husband, who was a vice president of a very high-standing finance company, can't be here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because he is working to pay for our bills that are high in our properties in Inglewood and in Playa Vista. So that being said, if we're really here to, as we all said, collate and have a vote and follow the rules and regulations that were put into place for Prop 218, Chapter 1, then this should really not go through, and we should go ahead and maybe hold off and have a conversation with more stakeholders, whether it be the cemetery, residents, coalitions, or whatever. And Mr. Butts, I did have a question because somebody did ask a question, and it seems like a concern for everybody is the subsidizing of the stadiums and everything else. I don't have anything to prove that. I just wanted to ask.
Ma'am, your
was there
time's up,
something-
and this is about water.
I
and
could
we're not-
research. It is
Oh,
water.
I understand it, but your time's up.
Okay, is there a place where I can get that information?
Your time's up.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And any questions that you might have about the city, you can call in and speak to the city manager's office, give them your question, and we'll get you an answer. All right?
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council members and staff. My name is Kazi Burns, and I am a longtime resident of the city of Inglewood, and I'm also part of Inglewood Park Cemetery. I'm here to oppose this water rate increase. I mean, just because since this notice came out, I got to learn a lot about water. And I got to learn that we use a lot of water and how this can affect the everyday person, me as a resident, and how it can affect our business. these raise increases is just, I mean, how it would go up for us as a business, but as a resident also, I can't see how we keep getting taxed on things and getting more inconvenience. Yes, I love the fact that we are an entertainment hub, but I mean, we got a check last year for being inconvenienced. I'm feeling with this raise and so forth of the fees, that's just like a loan that we're gonna have to give back with these increases and so forth. I mean, it's just, at some point, we have to be able to stop, just like the lady said, we have to pay for our parking, our cars and everything. I have a swimming pool. And if that, it's just, I'm not trying to brag, but then, the air fuel, jet fuel she was talking about, I may have to change my water or treat it more often than that. I'd hate to see what that's gonna be if I gotta drain that pool and redo it. So, I mean, I would like some more consideration on this increase as opposed to a personal aspect and as far as the businesses as well, because we are one of the largest water usage in the cemetery of City of Inglewood, and that would have a tremendous effect on us, let alone the residents. That's all I have.
Okay, sir, real quick. This is a fee. A fee is a charge that's passed for a service. It's not a tax. This is not going to the city. This is not a tax. Secondly, I've heard people mention planes. To my knowledge, planes have been flying over the city of Inglewood for the last 60 or 70 years. So why does that make a difference right now?
Makes a difference, as she said, jet fuel being spilled into our properties and so forth. And if I have to rinse down or redo my pool, I've had to redo my pool for.
Okay, so you haven't had to do that before now until this.
I have, but my point being.
So
is
how
with the
does that make,
increase-
well, hold on, sir, because you're at time. So how does that make a difference right now as far as the fee? That's what I'm really trying to understand this.
Because the increase in the water that is due to come will have a significant effect on
You
how we
washing
have
down
to-
your pool.
watering down anything.
Okay, I got it. All right, thank you. I just want to make sure I understood that. Thank you. With that, we'll close the public comment.
I got a motion, Mayor, I move adoption with comment. I would like to comment.
Go ahead with your comment.
Is there a second first?
Is there a second first?
Second.
All right.
All right, so this has been quite the issue, going back and forth. Some residents called. And obviously, this is something we don't like to do, right? Raise the water rates. I was here, was it 2012 when we raised them? At the time, we had not raised them in something like 10 years. During those 10 years, the city of LA had raised their rate 70%, and we had raised them nothing. You know, whoever was here before that, we were just kicking it down the road. It caught up to us, and we were at the time subsidizing at a ridiculous amount per month. That was costing all of the residents through our reserves, through our whatever it is we had available. So now we're at a point where, we raised them in 2023, and now we're at a point where if we don't raise them, we will be subsidizing water again. Our partners here at the Inglewood Park Cemetery, which of course we're very proud to have them here, but if they don't get their rates raised, and they obviously mentioned they would pass it on to their clients. If we don't do that, then who's going to pick up the bill? It's our residents, from what I understand, because we would obviously have to pay the bill. So the cost would go up for everybody. That's unfair. That's unfair. Now, at this point, this is not something where we're charging an amount of money, we're taking it and we're spending it on other things. This is kind of like a pass-through where, this is what it costs us to provide water to our residents. And so when that's what it costs, if we don't do it, it wouldn't be responsible for us not to do it. Now, from what I understand, and you can clarify, Mr. Olmos, currently, we do have the right to pump our own water, but our infrastructure is not allowing us to do so because our wells are not, our infrastructure is not prepared to do that, right?
That's correct. We're working on improving the wells.
So we are in turn having to purchase water and then resell it to our residents. So we are basically stuck with whatever we get charged in order to do that. Now, once we fix our infrastructure and we would be able to get wells that are operating, we would be able to, I'm not saying it would never cost more because inflation would hit us, but we would be able to stabilize kind of the cost. Is that correct?
You're correct.
So in investing in our infrastructure, it's probably the most important part about this. We have old infrastructure, we have infrastructure which we cannot use to pump our own water rates, and that's costing us money. Now, the gentleman who is our consultant, he brought forward the fact that, the responsible thing would be to, collect reserves throughout the period that's available to us that we're asking for. And even so, we would be going up to, it would be only 5% of the portion would go to reserves. Is that correct?
Well, for operational and maintenance, it'll be 20% of our operating budget.
Okay.
Going to reserves.
Okay, and so, but right now, how much are we raising the water rates overall?
Well, the overall water rate is 30%,
Mm-hmm.
but that's overall revenue. But the individual increases is based on their water use and the size of their meter.
Okay,
Yes.
so the 30% is just based on use, it's not necessarily across the board?
Well, revenue is the overall customer mix.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so what I wanted to point out is that, with making these type of decisions, we're in a place where if we don't make this decision to increase the water rates, we're taking an irresponsible step, because the truth of the matter is that the money has to come from our general fund, our reserves, in order to cover that cost. What we're trying to do is put ourselves in a position where we can take care of our infrastructure to the degree where we could stabilize the cost as much as we can. So that's what we're doing here today. Now, in regards to what gets said out there, that, now people look around and every time somebody feels the pinch or feels the cost, we point at the venues, right? We point at SoFi Stadium, we point at Intuit Dome, the Forum, because they believe that that's why it costs a lot of money. That's why we're getting an increase. That's just not true. Everybody pays their own water. And that's something that was new to me that came out here, that people thought, oh, we're paying there because they're using the water, so it's increasing our cost. And while the mayor has done a good job of clearing it up 4 or 5 times right now, I just want to make it clear one more time. There's no time in the future that could happen as well. Mr. Olmos?
That's correct.
Okay. So with that, the motion's on the floor, Mayor. Those are my comments.
Well, I think Councilman Padilla wants to.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor. Again, I just want to reiterate. So I get it. There's never a right time. Never a right time when we have to increase any fees. It doesn't matter what it's for. It could be childcare. It could be whatever. It doesn't matter. There's never a right time. But as elected officials that are responsible for moving this city forward and progressiveness and putting, an infrastructure in place that's going to last longer and fix some of these repairs that are in dire need, we need to do these changes. We need to make these increases. If not, it'll be like it was back in 2011, 2012, when folks were upset because there was pipes bursting. There was sinkholes everywhere. And it was like, we got to fix these. And so they made a move in 2012 to increase the water rates. And we find ourselves back in a position again to have to try to keep up with the costs that are being absorbed by the city. And now we have to make a decision on what direction we're going to go. We can't continue to absorb these costs. And so we have to make these changes. Is it a popular change to make? No, it's not. But again, we don't make these changes based on being reelected or elected, and people will try to make that seem that way. We make these changes as we make a lot of improvements in Inglewood based on what's the right thing to do for our community. What is the best thing to do? And at this point, this is one of those best moves that we have to make. And you may agree or disagree, but until you sit on this end and you understand the totality of what these decisions mean and how they're gonna benefit the community, I get it. And I've got to reiterate, and even Inglewood Park Cemetery said, nobody else pays their water bill. Nobody else is paying the water bill for the SoFi Stadium, the Intuit Dome, the Forum, any of these folks, just like nobody else is paying your water rate at home. We all have to pay ours. We have to pay what we owe. And this is, again, part of that is to make sure that we do these increases to allow us to make changes to the infrastructure, the sewer, the water lines. All of that needs to be improved, and that's what we're trying to do. Now, I do want to say, people talk about, one lady talked about, well, I've lived here and I live in the house that my parents lived in and it's getting ridiculous, this and that. Property values have gone up substantially. Why? Because of the changes that we've made here in Inglewood. You know, so if you're a property owner and your parents bought this property 40, 50, 60 years ago, congratulations, you have generational wealth. It's now up to you how you spend it and what you do with it. Nobody's putting a gun to your head to sell your properties. Keep them. Things are only going to get better. You know, when we talk about, using general fund money, that's not what we do. That's not how it's done. These water rates are on a standalone funding source. So we got to make sure that we have a balance in that. So with that, thank you. And I appreciate everybody's comments. Truly, I take them to heart because nobody wants to get an increase. Heck, none of us do.
Okay, thank you. Before we go on to Councilman Falk, I want to clarify something. The monies that we have used to stay afloat, very apropos phrase, so far have been the reserves from the water fund. Is that right?
That's correct, Mayor.
It has not been from the general fund. Is that right?
That's correct, Mayor.
It's an enterprise fund. Are we allowed to subsidize this water enterprise fund with the general fund?
You could, but that's not something that's typical.
Okay. Now, I want to go on to Councilman Falk, and then I'm going to finish up. Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I won't take up too much time. I just want to echo what my council member colleagues have said and just kind of say that, you know, hearing a lot of the comments here, we empathize with everyone. We understand. We're with you. We all live in Inglewood as well. Our bills will go up in our households as well. We don't want to do it, but it's like our colleague said, we have to make the responsible decision because it's what needs to be done. We cannot keep pushing this buck down the road. We can't do it anymore. We have to make this decision now. We don't want to leave our kids with a more expensive decision that they have to deal with in 10 to 15, 20 years. That's not responsible. It's just not. So, I mean, for me, I hate it, and I know that our colleagues at Inglewood Park Cemetery will probably feel a lot of pain. You guys will feel a lot of pain. So, hate to see that happen. So, it's difficult. It's a difficult decision. Sometimes it's very difficult being on the dais. It really is. It is. But we have to make responsible decisions for the city of Inglewood. And sometimes they're not liked by our residents, but it is sometimes what needs to be done. So I just wanted to make that, those comments to you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Really quick, again, Mr. Olmos. The rate raise only puts us in the middle of cities, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so heretofore, we've been very much on the low end of the rates that are paid for water. Now, we don't live in a vacuum, is that right?
That's right.
Everybody pays for water. And so what we're doing, this increase only puts us, if we vote for it, because we're about to vote, puts us in the middle of cities.
That's correct.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll call for the vote. Madam City Clerk.
Council members Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, we have to mention one
Oh,
last
there's
thing.
one, and there's one more point. I wanted to tell everybody that, you know, we did receive protests, okay? And the standard or the benchmark is if we get 50% plus one of the ratepayers that protest, then this rate cannot go into effect. We got 3% of the ratepayers that protested the rate increase. So we would need another 47%. All right, and so with that, we'll go on to the next item. We'll go to the consent calendar, items 2 through 18.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council member Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. DR1 and H3.
Staff report recommending the mayor and council members approve a permanent local housing allocation loan agreement with 304 East Spruce Street, LP, for $2 million from the city's Permanent Local Housing Allocation Fund to provide a second city-sponsored loan to the developer to fund in part certain pre-development expenses incurred by its for the proposed construction of a new 60-unit affordable rental housing project located at 310 East Spruce Avenue, Inglewood, California, 90301.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. SPH1.
Staff report requesting the mayor and council members set a public hearing to introduce an ordinance designating certain portions of the city as an event zone in order to regulate certain activities in connection with the FIFA World Cup and related events.
Set the public hearing for January 13th, 2026 at 2 p.m. We're on to reports. A1 from the city attorney.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We had a closed session today. Present were the mayor and members Padilla, Morales, and Falk. CS1 was the workers' compensation claim of Nicholas Scanlon, and by a 4-0 vote, the council moved to approve a settlement authority. CS2 was pulled. CS3 was the case of Burnett v. City of Inglewood. There was discussion held, direction given to staff. And CS4 was the claim of Wilshire Nabat LLC. And by a 4-0 vote, the council approved settlement authority for settlement to be named.
We have to approve that in public, so.
Yeah, we have to do that one in public.
Yeah, so with Wilshire Nabat, I have a motion for settlement authority.
Also move that.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Fogg.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. A2.
No comments, thank you.
All right. CM1.
Mr. Mayor, just a reminder that City Hall will be closed starting this Friday, and we'll be back on the 5th of January. However, city services, field services will continue.
Unabated. CC1.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you so kindly. First, I would like to thank Councilman Morales and our city treasurer for joining me this past weekend for the sitting and eating with the city clerk. And so that's going to be coming out. So encourage our residents to, be on the lookout for that. We went to the 675 bar, restaurant and bar lounge. It was off the chain.
Really nice.
It was really nice, and I got the councilman out at nighttime, so I'm really thankful for that. So, thank you, Councilman Morales. Secondly, I would like to, just want to let our councilwoman Gloria Gray know that we're with her, and the city treasurer and myself are standing with her in a full recovery. And then, lastly, happy holidays to everyone. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Let's see, so CT1,
Monthly treasury report for the month ending September 30th, 2025.
receive and file. The successor agency is in session, CSA2.
Monthly treasury report for the month ending September 30th, 2025.
Receive and file, adjourn the successor agency. The Housing Authority is in session, H2.
Monthly treasury report for the month ending September 30th, 2025.
Receive and file, H3 and DR1.
Mayor, we did that on the council
Oh,
side, but
we
if you
sure did
so
on the
desire.
council. Okay, well, we've already approved that, through DR1. We'll adjourn the Housing Authority. The JPA is in session.
Monthly treasury report for the month ending September 2025.
Receive and file. Adjourn the JPA. And I would do appointments to commissions and committees. I'm going to call all these together, and then if anybody wants me to pull one, I'll pull it. Councilwoman Dion Falk nominates and I appoint Anya Christensen to the Arts Commission. Councilwoman Dion Falk nominates and I appoint Rita Burnett to the Aviation Commission. Councilwoman Dion Falk nominates and I appoint W.G. Howard Jr. to the Construction Appeals Board. Councilwoman Dion Falk nominates and I appoint January Cochran to the Library Board. Councilwoman Dion Falk nominates and I appoint Denise Brown to the Rental Housing Board. Councilwoman Dion Falk nominates and I appoint Cheryl Shaw Williams to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Councilwoman Dion Falk nominates and I appoint Lois Hale, living in the Renaissance, to the Parking and Traffic Commission, my former neighbor. Councilwoman Dion Falk nominates and I appoint Christopher Beck to the Parks and Recreations Commission. Councilwoman Dion Falk nominates and I appoint Dolly Morrison to the Naming and Renaming Commission. Is there a second?
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Okay, now, public comment. Any person wishing to address the council on any item connected with city business not elsewhere considered on the agenda may do so at this time for 1 minute.
Thank you for this moment to speak, but I'm a little concerned by what I'm hearing today from my council elected members. It sounds like a lot of what you guys want in this mass. We're not idiots. That water bill, we wouldn't have that situation if these 3 arenas weren't put in place with the additional hotels, the additional people and everything. This infrastructure wouldn't be a problem. But the problem that I have is the Crenshaw project that added irrigation. That's water that's being added to the bill. What I don't like is this new tree trimming service that just comes up out of middle of December, where we don't have a say about what goes on in our community. You're having parking now on Crenshaw Boulevard between 108 and Imperial, where that flows with the mess with the flow of traffic. We can't enter the shopping centers anymore because there's yellow poles up that would now cause traffic on Crenshaw. Game days cause traffic for people in our neighborhoods. What I'm seeing is with the new businesses, it's causing more of a negative impact for the residents in the long haul. And then we're told that we have to
Sir,
stick with it and deal with it.
you're at time.
Oh. But I do want to speak to my District 4 councilman.
You're at time, and you're welcome to talk to your District 4 councilwoman. That'd be great. Okay, now we'll go to council and mayor remarks. Councilman Alex Padilla, District 2.
Great, thank you, Mayor. Just real quick, couple of things. I had an opportunity to do a welcoming at the this past weekend for the Disabled American Veterans. So I want to thank Mr. Richard Cooks, who's there in the picture with me. He's actively involved with the DAV as well as AMVETS. And so it's always good to attend these events to show our support for what the veterans are doing. First of all, for their sacrifice serving our country, and second, for everything they do for our veterans here in California. Number 2, again, I want to now thank our community for coming out and supporting our District 2 Toy and Canned Food Drive. Overwhelming success, and that's only because of the kindness and generosity by the community that came out in force so that we can provide a smile on the kids' faces and a smile on the parents' faces as they were gifted with some toys and some food for their family. So I want to thank the Inglewood community for coming out and showing their support. Santa sleigh. So the Santa sleigh is going to be coming out to each one of our communities here in the next couple of weeks. And so if you would please get on the social media for the city or the Instagram for the Police Officers Association or in Inglewood Police Department's Instagram, it'll have on there where they're going to be in different parts of the community and kind of give you a time frame. They have to give you a window, right? Like about 30 minutes because that sleigh's got to make those rounds and those turns. So it's going to take a little longer than a regular car coming up. And so when it gets there, you'll be able to take a photo and sit there. The kids will be able to sit on Santa's lap and kind of visit with Santa. So I just want to thank the Inglewood Police Department and the Inglewood POA for providing this for our residents. And I think that about does it. I know the city manager talked about City Hall being closed, and our next meeting won't be till after we get back from vacation. Well, vacation or being closed. Vacation for some folks. We'll still be around running the city business. But I want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Feliz Navidad, and also have a wonderful New Year. Enjoy being with your family and your friends. God bless you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Falk, District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to acknowledge my commissioners that are here, board members, for their reappointments to their positions, and they're going to be sworn in today. Congratulations to all of them, and I'd like to see if my colleagues would take a quick picture with all of them at the flag after our council meeting really quickly. Also, I want to invite District 4 out. We have a Santa visit, and it's going to be happening at the Crenshaw Imperial Branch Library from 4 to 6 tomorrow. And there will be hot cocoa for the kiddies, and then there will be like pictures with Santa Claus and the Grinch, and lots of fun for the babies. So come on out, Crenshaw Imperial Library tomorrow from 4 to 6. Also, I'd like to congratulate my sorority sister, Brittany Murray. She and some of our other Inglewood residents are producing and have produced a film that is launching tomorrow night, and it will be airing, and some of our friends here, some of our city clerk, city treasurer, some others are going to go to the pink carpet event. So it's going to be a very nice event, but congratulations to some of our Inglewood residents who are involved in that film. So hopefully we can get more people to go out and celebrate this wonderful independent film. Lastly, Mayor, I want to congratulate Lois Hale, who recently just had a birthday, Parking Traffic Commissioner for District 4. And then also Clonetta Gorey, one of our long-term District 4 residents who've been such a fun and active District 4 resident. And so with that said, I want to wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, be safe, and we'll see you in 2026. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Ella Morales.
Thank you. Just some brief comments. I want to start with thanking Mr. Tony Olmos and Bernard McCrumbie, who were the staff members in charge of two huge events today. Huge items today on the agenda. The first one was the hotel being built and how, you know, there's a certain part of the process that takes place. I mean, we're building a community, we're building a city. And with it, with the venues and everything that we can capitalize on requires us to build out this city in a certain manner. Hotels being one of them. In order to get this type of development, you know, we had to make this change, this zoning changed, and with it, it allowed the gentleman to build the 11 units on top. And during that conversation, it came out that, there was a need for affordable housing and how the city is not paying attention to that. I want to say that's not correct. The city actually has been addressing the affordability on housing for a while. During the time where we were making all of these major kind of developments here in the city of Inglewood, a lot of rent was going up extremely quickly. We addressed it with rent control immediately. It took a while, but we were at a point where we had stabilized the rent. But aside from that, all of our developments have the required city and state requirements for affordable housing. And going beyond that still, I know that there's a few projects in the pipeline that are going to be 100% affordable. This is unlike many cities you have around here. We are making the responsible decisions because we know that not only is that a requirement by the state, but there's a huge need. And we want our residents to have those options. We want our seniors to make sure that we take care of them as best we can. So I just wanted to point that out. Those are going to be coming up now in regards to the hotel that's going to be developed. That will allow us to, take advantage of the tourism that comes in for the next how many years with all these major events, the Olympics, the Super Bowl, FIFA. So those are the type of decisions that we're making that can be spun in so many different ways, but at the end of the day, we're moving the city forward. And I won't spend a lot of time on the water thing. I just want to say that, in order for a city to move on responsibly, these decisions are so necessary. And the fact that we have extremely capable staff all the way across the board at the top, and thank you, Mr. Atwell, makes it, I don't want to say easy for us to kind of address it, but the truth of the matter is that, we rely heavily on our staff, and they've proven to be extremely capable. And so those decisions are made with a huge amount of that reliance, and we're very proud of that. So moving on, I would like to just say happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas. This is a time that we get to kind of pause and spend with family. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure everybody else is. We'll miss you for a few weeks, but we'll be back in January. Thank you.
Thank you. So real quick, about the closure of City Hall.
Real quick.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you, Aisha. All right, go ahead. I don't want any problems.
Yeah, I know, you guys, I missed Aisha last week, and I wanted to apologize publicly. I feel very chagrined for having done that, all right? Aisha, I apologize to you publicly. Let's talk about this closure thing, though. The reality is that we will still have all of our 24-hour services every day of the week. Myself and the council people are available every day of the week. I will be here in the office every day of the week. So while we have staff, off taking their holiday pay, they're all taking approved leave. That's something that we do. Okay. I want to remind everybody that we have the lowest average rents in the South Bay. I want to thank Bernard McCumbry, Tony Olmos, Roberto Chavez for giving us 3 great reports. This is the longest meeting we've had in a very long time, but it was so productive and worthwhile. I want to clarify once and for all, the venues have nothing to do with the residential water rates, period. No matter what anybody wants, how they want to couch that, they pay for the water that they use. And when I heard someone come up with this preposterous supposition that because we put water mains under the venues that somehow we're subsidizing the venues. Did you know that every time housing development's built in Inglewood, the city pays to do the roadways and the water systems? You know why we do that? Because we have the expectation that that housing will be occupied and we'll get property tax from it. The same thing with the venues. We did that because you know why? We're going to get admissions tax from it. So we make much more in admissions tax than we will ever pay for those sewage system that we put there. That's something that we do. And it's just unfortunate some people don't understand the economics of running a progressive and viable city, period. Inglewood has always had traffic when it was prosperous. When we had the racetrack doing 43,000 people a day, 6 days a week, we had the Forum doing 17.5, the city was doing pretty good. When those two venues died, the city died. The city died. We were 4 months away. We were 4 months away from bankruptcy when I took office. And now we got ourselves to a point where we could give a property tax rebate last year. That's never been done anywhere in the United States of America. And so, yes, we do have traffic, but we had traffic before when we prospered. So if somebody's gonna tell me I wanna choose no traffic, low property values, torn up streets, untrimmed trees, sidewalks torn up, I'm telling you, I don't agree with that. So it's funny how at this point we have people trying to rewrite history and make it seem as though the good old days were when we had high crime and no infrastructure renewal. I just don't buy that. So with that, we're gonna go take this picture with Dion and her commissioners, and we're adjourned.